So they announced that it was a rehearsal show. And I thought that was like a cute, like storyline or something, or they're bringing back dollar shows. But like, no, it was legit a rehearsal. Like he had the band, like he was working through transitions with us. Like, oh, when we do the song, can we do a little louder? Like it was legit a rehearsal. They locked our phones away. And you guys know I was tight because you guys know I love taking like nice videos of like the places I go to. Yeah. Like they locked away our phones in the Yonder pouches. And I wonder if I'm skipping ahead of like getting anything. I got the wristband, met people. I don't know. And then I waited in line early because I wanted to get a good spot. And I can't even describe like what the rehearsal show was like. Like it was, I've seen him so many times. It never gets old. Like it never gets old. He's so like, I'm literally side-eyeing all these rappers that need a backtrack to perform for real. Like the enunciation, the clarity in his voice. He doesn't skip not pace. One word, like breath control. Like it never gets old. And like he was very like relaxed. Like he was like, I don't know. And his jokes were hitting. I was telling my friend Mike, like his jokes were hitting. Like he's funny.
He was flirting. He was flirting with y'all.
No,
audience, he was flirting with y'all.
It was funny. No, he was talking to like a high school guy, like cracking jokes and stuff.
You sure?
I saw that video with him and Janae Aiko. It was like a throwback.
Oh yeah, the throwback. Yes, I saw it today.
And I saw his personality. Like I see his game. I see his game. I see it.
That's who you gonna mimic to be a comedian?
Yeah, J. Cole. I'll steal some of his sauce.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
He is one of the most likable rappers to ever exist.
Well, before this year, because people acted like he wasn't this year, but in general, he always was.
I think you can dislike his actions and dislike something that he did and not agree with it. As people that view hip hop and rap as a competitive sport, right? You hear it all the time. I've been seeing 50 Cent interviews over the last week, and what he says in reference to Jay-Z and Diddy is, it's not that I hate these guys. Like, we ain't got beef. If I see him in the street, like, it's not going to go there, but it's competitive. Yeah. I'm a competitor.
I don't think anyone doubted J. Cole's ability to sell out arenas or have a fan base. People just have to understand that was an aberration what he committed to rap fans. Because for fans, all they've ever known in terms of how do we gauge who's the best or who's number one is through rap battle.
Like win or rap.
Yeah. So I think the two things can exist. Right. And at the time, and even still to this day, like those guys, they're still the biggest three rappers that we have. Like I'm so thankful for this year because, again, like I said last week, I don't have to talk about Blueface. I have not had to say Blueface in a very long time.
This year, you're right.
I mean, did we though? I don't think we ever brought them niggas up.
But that's because we had to navigate it.
It's all over the
like it's just everywhere.
In our faces,
I'm actually able to report and consume content from artists that I care about and that actually care about the art. Like going back to the performance, going back to Kendrick Lamar's pop-out show. We got to see his performance, right? And one of the things that a lot of people highlighted was his breath control and how much in shape he seemed to be because he was able to rap. The stamina, like the performance aspect is a lost art in a lot of the artists today, where the J. Coles and Kendricks and the people who we look towards in this space are actually taking the craft serious. So
they come from that era of real rappers.
They do. And I'm so grateful that we get to live through that.
Like the rehearsal show, the small intimate venues, and it's so crazy seeing Cole there because he's literally one of the biggest rappers, but we're just in this small it was so crazy. And like us not having our phones, I see why old heads always talk about back in my day, because like we didn't have our phones, so everyone was just like in the moment. Like when he came out, like with January 28, well, he did his intro, but January 28, everyone was screaming his like everyone had their like hands over each other's shoulders, like rapping everywhere,
like
hype,
brothers and sisters.
It was so beautiful. Like I'd like just look around, everyone's smiling, laughing, like because it's like you guys think like I'm a big Cole fan, but it was like imagine like 500 me's in there. Like everyone was just as big of a fan. Like I can't even describe the energy in there.
And I'm sure it's amplified because again, there's no devices.
Yeah.
So like, you have no choice but to give your undivided attention. Yeah.
It was so great. Like he worked through our set list with us. Like he did the Forest Hills Drive album top to bottom because the MSG show was a 10-year anniversary. Right. He did top to bottom, but in the middle he did his deep cuts and his hits. And then he went back to the second half. Cool. So it was like, oh, this is like a little tidbit that I feel like I got from being at both shows. He started off his deep cut section, like mixtape cuts, with this song called I Get Up. I get up, I see the cloud from my window. Like that song. And he was so happy when we knew the words at the rehearsal show. And that gave him confidence. He was like, yo, this gave me confidence to maybe do these really deep cuts in the Garden. Like that's scary.
So
like,
you saying you helped Cole?
Hold on. This is just my opinion. Like if anyone was at both shows, this is just my opinion of what happened. He was like, when we did Get Up with him, he was like, wow, like this is crazy. Like this gave me confidence to do this. But then at the Madison Square Garden show, he did I Get Up. Like he started it, but the arena didn't really match that energy of Friday. And he didn't do the song. Like he stopped it.
Really?
So yeah. Like I texted my friend, I was like, yo, he skipped I Get Up because they didn't know it. So it was crazy that I saw what he was planning to do.
You know what? Not to cut you off, Reggie. I think that's pretty telling to his personality. Right? Like for the most part, I think you would know more about Cole than most people. Like maybe SaVon and myself. Well, I don't know. SaVon is Dreamville now.
Yeah.
But it kind of speaks to who he is as a person, right? Like maybe confidence level or
he did do the rest of his deep cuts he had planned.
Yeah,
like Two-Face was a big one. I don't know if you guys saw, but Twitter blew up when he did Two-Face.
I saw that.
How'd that one go?
That one went well. Like it went well, but I would say like the reception wasn't like people weren't chanting I Get Up like we were.
Yeah.
And he like I don't want to say this if it really wasn't what happened, but in my opinion, he was like, damn, like all right, let's skip to the next song, guys. Like I feel like he did that a little bit. Maybe we could rewatch the stream. Yeah. Some people listening can rewatch the stream and correct me, but
the stream was really well produced too.
I was watching it the next day, like, damn, that's what it looked like.
Really well produced too. Like he just put on a masterclass. And I know we hate to compare, but this is just what this is at this point. When we think about the stream for the Pop-Out show, how well produced that was, and looking at this, like these guys are like really playing at a different level. Like when we talk about sports and we're comparing the athletes to each other, like, oh no, this guy is good, but this dude is like really great. Like Kendrick and J. Cole specifically, they encompass everything where it's music, it's messaging, it's catering to my audience, my fans, and also performance. Right? Yeah. Like they're just operating at a different level than everybody else. And they're like, what, 15 years in, almost 2 decades in? It's crazy.